Hi, I'm Chad Yoder. I'm actually our Coachmen Catalina West Coast rep, and jumping in here to go over a few setup items and some fun stuff on the new 2024 Catalinas. We've got a Legacy Edition here. We do offer some various models, so some things may be different in some of the other videos. Whether you're first-time camper, just bought your new Catalina, whether it's something that you're interested in getting into and you want to learn a little bit more, the portion of this that I'm going to cover is some of the basics that we're going to do when we first get to our campsite and set up. So right away, we're still hooked up to our truck. We just backed into our camping area here, and we're going to start with leveling, and then we'll work on unhooking from the truck and hooking up the rest of our water lines, electrical, and getting ready to start our camping. Now that we're here, we decided we're first going to find our side-to-side level. So we can either do it one of two ways. You can open up and check directly here on your floor for a side-to-side level, or we can also show you where we'll set this on the tongue and check our side-to-side level, and then decide whether we need to put leveling blocks under one side of the trailer or the other, so we've got a good setup. The other place that we could put the level is here on the A-frame. This gives us a nice side-to-side read. I'm looking at this. Looks like on this site, we're gonna need to bring the door side of the trailer up just a little bit. So we're gonna use some leveling blocks. I'm gonna show you how to use those. So since I wanna bring this side of the trailer up, I'm gonna start out with leveling blocks. It may vary depending on the site that you're at, but we're just gonna start laying them right next to the tires since the trailer's already where we want it to be. What we're gonna do is we're gonna lay this row out, make sure we've got them where we want them, and then once we get this done, we're gonna pull the trailer forward and slide them back into place so that we can back the trailer into its same spot. So now that we actually have the trailer leveled, which you'll see I took the blocks out because really we were leveled before, that was for an example purpose, but it's a good idea to go on ahead and chalk your trailer's tires in place so that it can't roll forward or backwards before you disconnect it from the truck. So we're gonna do that here. There's typically two common ways. We have a standard wheel chalk block that we're going to wedge in on either side of the tire. It's a good idea to do this to both sides of the trailer. And then there's another method that works well. It's called an X-chalk system. Any of these items are something you can get from your local camping parts store or your dealership. The X-chalk, you're gonna see we're gonna use it right in between the tires, and it's gonna tighten up so that they can't roll. These we're gonna place underneath. This method typically works great when you do already have a bunch of leveling blocks underneath because they don't opt for these to grip as much. So I like this if I've got a bunch of leveling blocks. We'll show you both. So now that we're all set up, we've got our trailer leveled from side to side, wheel chocks in place. We're gonna go on ahead and disconnect it from the truck now that it can't roll anywhere. I'm gonna go through that process. For our tongue jacks, I always do recommend some kind of a platform. We're using one of the leveling blocks. It's nice to put it underneath in case any chance the ground could be soft, nothing can sink into it. It helps keep it stable. So we're gonna start by setting this down here. Make sure it's kind of got a nice foot. Then to speed this up a little bit, we do have a little pin here that you can pop out and simply lower the plate so you don't have as far to go. Pop the pin back in. Now before I disconnect, I am going to bring it down close. Now I'm gonna go on ahead and start disconnecting from the truck. Currently, I don't have any batteries on this trailer and I'm not hooked up to shore power, so I am going to leave it hooked up to my vehicle because that is giving me my power supply. We're gonna go on ahead and release the tongue. We're gonna disconnect our breakaway cable, our safety chains. Now that we're released from the ball, we should be able to go on ahead and lift it right up off the trailer. Now that I'm completely clear of the truck, I know I can pull the truck forward about a foot here. We'll go on ahead and continue leveling, or we could set up our power cord at this point, but I'm gonna stay connected to the power, but free from the hitch ball. So now that we've got the truck disconnected, we are gonna go on ahead and level the trailer forward and backwards. This is best done inside one of your entry doors on the floor, as I showed earlier. So I'm gonna put the level in there. We're gonna raise it up and down from the tongue to level the trailer the rest of the way out. So one of the next steps we're gonna do is actually a very simple process, but this is the part that's going to stabilize your whole trailer and make it feel solid everywhere you are throughout the weekend or your camping experience. So we have 4 stabilizer jacks on this trailer. These are currently a manual, which is kind of nice because you can run them down independently to whatever different spot you may want. We got a couple different ways of doing that. We do supply in every trailer that we sell a little manual hand crank. This works great for both your stabilizer jacks, and I'll show you how you can use it to get your spare tire down from underneath the trailer later when we need to. But we've got this option, or highly recommended, a cordless drill or an impact with a 3/4 inch socket. You can quickly run each of these up and down. The same as the power tongue jack, I do recommend that you put something underneath, so that way throughout the weekend, if you are on a softer spot on the ground, your stabilizer is not going to sink into the ground at all. We're going to go on ahead. We can show you with this. And then there's also using the impact. I'm always going to recommend, whether you use this from the start or you use the power, to take this and give it one more full crank, just to make sure it's snug and tight. Again, we're not using these to level the trailer. We already did that, so we just want it to be stable. We don't need it to lift on the trailer. Oftentimes on the back of the trailer, your stabilizer jacks, you may have a greater distance to the ground. It is okay to go on ahead and stack some leveling blocks or blocks to bring that up so you're not bringing the stabilizer jack down as far. So as we continue with our setup, the next part is going to be going on ahead and getting power to our trailer so we can open things up. Depending on your campsite, your electric hookup box may be 30 amp, 50 amp. Here we are going to be hooking into a 30 amp plug. We do have units that are 50 amp service. If they are, and the site that you're at is only a 30 amp box, it is easy to use one of these simple adapters. This plugs right into your power from the trailer and plugs into the 30 amp service. If you've got 2 air conditioners, that's going to reduce you to using one of them instead of 2. There is also a 110 adapter plug that you can take 30 amp down to your standard residential 110. So now for hooking up our electrical, just going to take this, you're going to fit and match the openings on your plug with the teeth on here. Slide it all the way in, give it a little bit of a twist to the side and you'll feel it locks in place. There's also a ring here that you can tighten up. That way it stays in place throughout your camping trip. I'm gonna go on ahead. I'm gonna take this and plug into our electric box. Lights turn green, looks like we've got power. So now we're gonna show you for your fresh water. So you're gonna have 2 different options on every one of our trailers. One of them is going to be just a fresh water connection that you can fill your water tank on this. The other is going to be a city water connection that you can hook up your hose and have regular pressure to the trailer and the plumbing system directly from a spigot hookup at the campsite. Frequently, this is going to be used if you are going to be going somewhere without hookups and you're going to want to take the water with you, or it's oftentimes, we'll have customers put a couple gallons of water in their tank so that they have water until they get to their campground, depending on what they're doing. A couple ways this can be done. So this hose can just be directly inserted into here. It does spray a bit of water around. We recommend it's a little fill spout. You can pick it up, again, any RV parts department, your dealership. This is gonna make it a lot easier for filling your fresh water tank. Slides right in. You can adjust for the water. We can go ahead and fill this. You're gonna learn here in a little bit later in the video our control system, also Bluetooths to your phone. So if you were connected to that already, now that we have power, you can watch as your fresh water tank fills. It'll let you know right here on your levels, or you can just check it inside the trailer on the monitor panel. So now I'm going to show you our other way for water supply to your trailer. That's your city water connection. It's going to be labeled back here. The cap's going to pop off. You're going to see the screen here, and you're going to see where you can connect the hose up to this. We're going to highly recommend, because every source of water from a spigot at the campground, at home, can be a different water pressure, and so that you don't end up hooking up to something that has water pressure that's way greater than the system should be made to handle in the plumbing. Highly recommend. This is a simple water regulator that you can put on here, and it's going to regulate the pressure that can come into the trailer. So we're going to hook that up here. Make sure it's nice and snug. Water's currently off. We're going to hook up to our spigot, and we're going to turn the water on. Something I would always recommend taking a quick look at and double checking when you're either setting up your stabilizer jacks or hooking up your electrical is just to make sure before you start using your camper for the weekend, your gate valves for your dirty water and your black water tank are completely closed. That way you don't start using the trailer and anything starts running through. This is also a good time if you are at one of the campgrounds or RV parks that does have an on-site waste dump at your area. You can go on ahead and hook up your dump hose now to your termination valves, and then you're ready to go for the weekend. One of the last steps to completing our total setup is going to be hooking up our propane tanks and turning those on. You're gonna have two different ways of doing this. You can pull the entire bottle cover off of here to have easy access to the propane tanks, or there are these little quick releases that you can pop open here and just pop the lid up.
Hi guys, my name is Joey Genka with Coachmen Catalina. We're here at the campground thanks to Chad, got us all set up. So what I'm going to be doing today is taking us through the rest of setup and talk about a lot of the amazing features that Catalina has to offer. We're here at the main entry door. First thing I want to point out is the front window on the door. It's something we do here at Catalina. Offers a couple great things, offers natural light in the unit, allows you to see outside in the campsite. Not a lot of other brands do this, so this is something that is unique that we do on our entry doors. These are friction hinge doors, so when you open them, close them, you don't have to worry about opening it up and slamming against the side of the thing. Nice, easy control. So on the Legacy Edition, what we have are solid step, flip down steps, super easy to use, right? Just a blue little lever here, pull it out. Sometimes you'll have to watch the front door and then you let it down. Now, this is a perfect example. One thing, you notice that we're not on super solid flat ground. So these are very easy to adjust, and I'll just show you. I'm just gonna take the bottom, pull it out until you can get it level again. And to put them back, what we did, very easy. Got these nice clips, push in, go in and out. So one thing is brand new to Catalina this year that you'll find on our Legacy Edition is our safety rail instead of our XL grab handle. This is a great feature. You see it a lot on fifth wheels, but we at Catalina have taken it to add it on our travel trailer this year. So super easy to get out. All you're gonna do, pull the pin on the bottom, and you'll pull it out from the top like that. That will slide out, and then you just continue to slide it out until it's full. Put the pin back in. You got a full length safety rail system. Easy to go up and down as you walk in and out of your unit. We stepped inside real quick. Right inside the door, you'll find our LCI One Control monitor panel. This is our central panel that controls a lot of features in the coach, right? So as you see, interior lights, exterior lights, turn them on and off. You have your water pump, your water heater, and one thing I'll talk about, you notice you have your water heater, gas, and electric. I'll kind of explain a little bit when we get outside and talk about our gas electric water heater feature. You can run your awning and slide outs from here. And what's really cool about this system is you see this Bluetooth connect right here. There's an app, an LCI One Control app that you can connect to via Bluetooth and actually do everything that this monitor panel is doing from your phone. Makes it very convenient. You can run your awning out, your slide out, which I will show you guys here in a little bit how to do that. And then you can run your lights or anything like that. Anything you can do on this panel inside, you have the convenience of doing from your phone wherever you're at in the camp. Okay. All right, guys, so we're outside the unit now on the off door side where the slide out is. Like I mentioned inside, still talking about the One Control app, we're gonna sit here, for example, let's say on this campsite, you had a tree that was hanging down or a post. Instead of you having to stand inside, maybe holler through the window at your wife or whoever you're camping with, am I gonna hit it? It's as simple as pulling your phone out. You can take a step back, and from your phone, you can run the slide out in and out. Again, super convenient for you guys, so you don't have to worry about if you're gonna hit anything, damage the unit. Makes it very convenient. Just stand outside and watch it, run it in and out as you're setting up your camper. So we got the slide out, ran out. Now I'm gonna talk to you guys about the awning. So I showed you guys through the app how to run the slide out, but just to confirm that you can do everything from the app on the panel, we're gonna run the awning out from the LCI monitor panel. One other really cool feature about the awning that Catalina is known for is the multicolored awning lights by Solera. Now, this is a great feature to have. You have 15 colors plus white, versus a lot of units just have the blue or the white. We give you a bunch of different options. It's super fun. So we have our slide out. And one thing I did want to talk about, hopefully you'll never have to use this feature as long as you own your Catalina, but it is important, something you need to know. For this one in particular, it's our rack and pinion slide. So, complete opposite of the slide out on this side, you'll see a little grommet in the fender skirt. And right behind that is the cylinder that has the cable slides and the motor and the gears that run it back and forth. So super easy. You can either use the manual handle that comes with the unit or any cordless drill with a 3/4 bit attachment. So you're just gonna put it right in the grommet, and right behind it is that bit. So now you have it attached to the socket. You're just gonna turn it one way, and this will easily move the slide in and out. Again, you shouldn't have to do this at all owning the life of your coach. The slide out system should work, but just in case you do run into a situation, we make it very easy to run your slide in and out manually. At Catalina, on every single unit that we have a gas electric water heater. This year for the 2024 model, we're switching to GE. Now you might be wondering, what are the benefits of a gas electric water heater? Well, it gives you multiple sources to heat your water. If you're plugged in at a campground, you can run it off electricity, no problem. What you'll find on a lot of our Catalinas is a outside camp kitchen. So just want to walk you guys through that and see all the cool features that come with it. One thing I do want to point out, as you're opening it, notice the magnetic baggage door latches. All you have to do is push it up. It's going to stay in place. A lot more sturdy than the plastic clips that will probably end up breaking after you use them 3 times anyways. So, great feature of the magnetic badges. So, let's look at the camp kitchen, right? Got a nice, great mini refrigerator. Hold all of your extra beverages outside so you don't have to go back and forth into the unit. Got a standard griddle. So, super easy to pull out. 2 blue levers, push them down, and pull it out. This is a cast iron griddle. You can cook pancakes, eggs, steaks, anything you want, because people like to cook outside when they're camping, right? You don't want to be stuck in the kitchen. Gives you a great alternative option to cook outside, hang out with the family, and cook up some dinner or lunch. When hooking up your outside griddle, do want to point out, we do have an LP Quick Connect located right underneath that runs a line to your front LP tanks. So you don't have to carry an extra one back here, make it really convenient for you. So you're going to take the back, plug it in, you're going to run it through the back side and connect it underneath. So easy as that. So one thing, if you are going to push in your camp griddle while your LP line is still connected, you can't, because it's actually a safety feature that we have at Catalina that prevents you from pushing in anything while the griddle is still hot. You will notice it's a very short cord, and it's supposed to be like that. It stops it in the back, allows you not to push in a hot iron into the camp kitchen. So just want you to be aware of that. Along with the mini refrigerator that you can hold all your beverages, we do make it convenient and put an outside bottle opener. They're very convenient. Get it from the fridge, pop it open. That way you don't have to carry one on hand or worry about losing it. We give one for you right in your camp kitchen. Another feature about the camp kitchen is our outside spray port. Now on this unit, it is located back behind the flip down cargo rack, which I'll get to in a second, so I won't flip it down. But just want you guys to be aware, you have an extra outside water source in case you need to spray off the dogs, the kids, do dishes, anything like that. We do give you an outside water source that we don't have to keep running doing dishes inside or anything like that. One thing you'll notice on all of our Legacies is our flip down cargo rack. Now this thing does hold 200 pounds, and if you've seen our videos before, you notice there was a spare tire on the back. But because of our new Norco frames, the spare tire is actually mounted underneath in the front of the unit. So now this flip down cargo rack has the full 200 pound capacity. Very easy to get in and out, or flip up and down, I'm sorry. So you have these pins right here, you'll pull them. And then just put the pins back in. Just take the pin, super easy to get up and down. This is great for, like I said, up to 200 pounds of extra cargo storage. So firewood, tents, chairs, bikes, kayaks, anything that you want to put on here up to 200 pounds, a bunch of extra storage here in the back. While we're back here, two things I want to talk about on the back, both prep that we use on our Catalinas. So one is a Furrion backup camera. It is prepped for it. Those cameras, if you put them in, you can put your hand on the back of this coach and that camera will pick it up. So if you're always backing into tight campgrounds, that might be a great addition to add to the back of your Catalina. And another one, which is new for us this year, is standard rear ladder prep from Lippert. So it's a telescope ladder that you can get from your dealer, but do just want to point out that every single Catalina besides our Trailblazers have the standard rear ladder prep. Last main feature I want to talk about on the outside of the Catalina Legacies is our outside shower. So when you open it up, has a handle that has an off and on switch so you can stop water so it's not constantly flowing. Also has hot and cold water settings. Now something different that we do at Catalina that other brands don't use in the outside shower is an actual shower holder. So that way you can actually hold it up, put it up there and take a shower without having to hold the wand the entire time. So very convenient for you guys, gives you guys another outside water source as well. Spray off any animals, kids, anything like that. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in with me today, going over some of the great outside features that Catalina has to offer. I'm gonna pass it over to Jordan, who's gonna take you guys through the inside and some of the great inside features that Catalina offers as well.
All right, so we've made it inside the 2024 263 BHS Catalina. We've had Joey and Chad running through the outside on the camp setup. Now we're on the inside. It's hot outside, it's 100 degrees here in northern Indiana. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump over to our GE thermostat here, and I'm gonna turn on this AC and get it down to 60 degrees. Now on that, we're gonna hear it kick behind us. I've got it on a direct drop, so let's cool this down in this first room. Then I'm gonna close it and we're gonna get ducted to the whole unit. Now while we're here at the thermostat, we're gonna look at our furnace that we're gonna use in the spring and the fall in those colder days. So everything all in one here, AC and furnace. All right, so we're cooling down the main living room after we got the AC rolling. Now I wanna jump over to our all new GE kitchen suite. GE fridge, GE microwave, GE range. Now I've got the gas hooked up on the outside from Chad and Joey, so I wanna run you quickly through this 3-burner range right here. Ignition light right here. I'm gonna hold the gas and I'm just gonna put it into that low and I'm just gonna click it over. Now I'm gonna do it for all 3 just to show you here. Now same thing here I've done in years past is I just wanna keep this going for about 5-6 seconds, bleed out any of that extra air through the lines to get that gas going. I have a 10.7 standard 12 volt fridge here, but we do offer an option for a gas electric fridge. So when it is running that gas side, I want to bleed out any air there. That way we're good to go on the camping trip. So same thing here, 1, 2, and 3. I got my 3-burner range. This 4th knob is going to be our oven. Similar process to what we just did. I'm going to hold this in and turn it to that ignite button and just turn over to light that pilot light. And then from there, just choose your degrees, 300, 350, 400, 450 on that desired temperature. So burner range is ready to go, oven is ready to go. Now let's jump over to the GE fridge. So something we do on all our floor plans is you're gonna see right here is a disconnect switch from the fridge on and off. So right now I have it off. You're seeing my fridge is fully disconnected. Now this is huge before the trip and after the trip, making sure you're not draining battery when you don't want to. You're ready to go to pack your fridge, and then when you're leaving and you're done the camping trip, turn that off. You're not draining your battery, so you're not out of luck next time around. Now what I'm gonna do here, I'll turn it on, and you're seeing that disconnect switch is working on and off. And then in here, you're just gonna see three settings, just like your fridge at home, whether that's 1, 2, 3, or cool, coolest, and coldest for that desired temperature on your camping trip. All right, so while we're still in the kitchen here, after we've gone over our GE appliances, I wanna look at the power box right here. So just like home in your basement or the spare closet or whatever it's at, you got your breaker box. Now along with the breaker box, you're also gonna find our fuses. Now, if you find a problem with your 110 or run through your 12 volts, this is a great spot to check. First, I would check in the bathroom on the GFI and trip that breaker there. So if it hasn't fixed the solution there, I wanna run here. And what you're gonna see, like, why isn't that light working in the bathroom? Well, what we realized is we had a bad fuse. So when you look at the fuse, there's gonna be a red dot right next to it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get our pliers, we're gonna pull out that bad fuse, and we're gonna replace it with a new fuse, and that will restore the power back to the lights in the bathroom. So while we're sticking here in the kitchen, we've looked at our fuse box, our 12 volts, we've looked at all the kitchen appliances. I wanna run and look at our gas electric water heater. Now I know Joey and Chad on the outside ran through it, but I wanna show you here, taking the access panel off and looking at the backside. Because what we do on all our Catalina models is we put a bypass for winterization. So right now you can see I've got these valves pointed towards the water heater. That means this thing is working, the water's going through it, you're getting your 16.2 gallons of hot water per hour. But what happens when the camping season's done, we want to winterize it, we want to put it away for the winter. What I want to do is I want to take these valves and I want to point them towards the hose. Pointing them towards the hose, both bottom and top valves, we're going to bypass the water heater for winterization purposes. So we've got our systems hooked up. Chad and Joey ran you through the outside. I ran you through the inside on your appliances, water heater, looking at the power boxes. Now let's enjoy the camping trip, right? So we've already got GE across the board and our new GE kitchen suite, but I want to look at our stereo system here. And we know these three letters, JBL. So Catalina is also offering the JBL system, and that's not just a JBL head unit, but it's your JBL speakers on the inside and outside. Comes with a remote, or you can use it manually here from the start. So I'm just gonna hit this power button, and what you're gonna see is I've already got it set on a local radio station here. And you're gonna hear that's actually playing on the outside. What this is it's independent zone control. So I'm gonna turn off this first zone. Now I'm gonna turn on the inside zone. I'm showing you the independent zone control. I've turned it back on to the campsite music. That way you can hear me here on the speaker. Like I showed you, A and B, but what we also can do is we can pair this. So whether it's your Spotify or anything else off your phone, there is a Bluetooth connection here to play your Spotify off of this on the independent zone, whether you got your music inside, music outside, TV here on the HDMI inside, FM radio on the outside. Multiple possibilities here when you're playing on the JBL system. So when we first got in the trailer, we ran through the GE thermostat when it came to the AC and the furnace. Of course, we do not want to run this today because we talked about it's 100 degrees here. But what we do have in that fall and the spring and the cooler days is all of our Catalina Legacy models here have an option for a 5,000 BTU fireplace. So hit the on button here. You're seeing I'm going from 62 up to 82. A few different options here, whether you're changing the color scheme to it or just running through the low, high, or zero fan speed on it, whether you want to speed it up quicker or just turn it to zero for maybe some extra lighting, bring the room together.
That was Jordan Short who took you through the interior features. My name's Troy Maples, and I'm gonna take you through disconnecting the campground at the end of the season, disconnecting your unit, as well as a few additional features. We're gonna start up front here with your solar system. Now this unit behind me here already has our solar system included, which is going to include a 200 watt panel as well as a 30 amp solar system. It's important to know that every Catalina for the 2024 model year comes with standard solar prep. What that means is that on the roof, the universal plugs are already going to be installed and sealed up top there, as well as all your wiring run through the unit and capped off in the area behind where you see the solar charge controller. That way it can easily be installed. The dealer does not have to run any wiring for you if you want to add it after the fact if it's not already optioned on. Catalina comes with a 200-watt solar panel up on the roof. The reason why we opted to use a 200-watt solar panel is because it should generate roughly 10 amps per hour under standard solar conditions. To go along with our standard 200-watt solar panel, we have a 30-amp solar charge controller. Now the first thing I want to mention is that the 30-amp solar charge controller can handle up to 600 watts. When adding additional solar, you do want to make sure that you add in the same increments of what the panel is up top. In this case, it would be an additional 200 watt or up to 2 more additional 200 watt panels. The solar charge controller has a screen on the front here, but you can also access it via the Go Power app off your phone. The app will give you all of your voltages, your charge settings, and everything. You'll even be able to set notifications on it. If you have any questions about any of the solar needs that you and your family are going to use on your Coachmen Catalina, go ahead and visit either Go Power's website or everythingcatalina.com. There you'll be able to find a solar power usage calculator where you'll be able to input all of the items that you feel like are necessary for you and your family. It'll tell you how many watts you'll need to be able to run your camper. Every Catalina comes installed with a black tank flush. What you see here is I already have the water hose connected to the black tank flush. This is something that you're gonna find at most dump stations throughout the country and at the campgrounds. What you wanna do is plug your black tank flush, plug the water hose into the black tank flush to get started before emptying your black tank. So we've just connected our water hose up top here. What the black tank flush feature actually has inside of it is it's going to run water through there in your black tank. You have a sprayer nozzle that helps spray out the black tank while you're emptying the black tank out at the evac station. Here we are at the evac location here. You'll notice you've got your gray and your black tank valves. You're gonna wanna make sure those are closed before opening this up. Save yourself a mess. So I've got both of them closed here. What I'm going to do first is disconnect this. And then this is an attachment you can get at most of the parts stores. I highly recommend this attachment because it's clear. You're gonna actually be able to see when everything's running through and that water's starting to run clean. So it's gonna help you make sure that all of your tanks are cleaned out. Got another tip for you here as well, but let me get this on. So you're gonna connect this. This is just a standard hose that we've got here for the demonstration. So then you're gonna wanna hook your hose up to your clear valve. Now what you can see here is that you can see through this. Again, the benefit to having something like this is that you know when everything's starting to run clear. Now, one hint that I want to make sure that I emphasize to everybody out there doing this is first and foremost, before pulling the black tank valve, pull your gray tank valve just a little bit. You're going to want to make sure that your tanks are about 2/3 full before doing this. This is a gravity fed system. So the tanks being 2/3 full is going to help create a rush of that water through here. The reason why I say pull the gray tank first before the black tank is you want to make sure that if anything's not hooked up properly, it's gray tank soapy water, dirty soapy water, not black tank water that's running out and letting you know that you screwed up. Once you do pull the gray tank, you make sure the hose is running and everything's hooked up properly and you've got the hose in the sewer, then you're going to want to go ahead and pull the black tank flush valve. Once you pull that black tank flush valve, go and turn on the water for the black tank flush system. Once this is open, that way you're not filling your tank up through the black tank. Now, you just wait, let the black tank flush system do its work. You continue to watch it and monitor everything. Once you start to see the water run clear, you're good to go. Turn off the hose that's flushing through the black tank flush, close your black tank back up. Now, you should make sure that you leave a little bit of water still in your gray tank as the last thing that you're gonna go through. Here's why. You want that soapy water, the dirty water, but not the dirtiest water from the black tank to run through last. So you'll reopen your gray tank, let it flush everything out, including your hose, before you have to disconnect. As we're starting to clean up the campground and starting to pack away everything, one thing that you're gonna wanna make sure you're cognizant of is your slide rooms. And when those start coming in, you're gonna wanna make sure that things like bedroom doors are closed, cabinet doors are closed. Anything that could get in the way of that room closing up here, you're gonna wanna make sure is closed off the floor and out of the way before bringing that slide room in. Another thing we recommend all of our campers to do before you hit the road, even after leaving the campground, even if you checked it before leaving your house for that weekend or anything like that, is make sure that you do some general maintenance on your RV before hitting the road. It's gonna start with tire pressure, okay? So you're gonna wanna make sure that you have a tire pressure monitor with you. Check your tire pressure while you're still at the campground. Well, you know if you need to stop while you're on your way out and put some air in those tires, you can take care of that. Another thing that you're gonna wanna check just while you're here and while you've got it, do a quick rundown of some of your seals in those areas. So along the windows, along your doors, make sure your baggage doors are closed and latched properly. You're also gonna wanna check out your slide out, and we'll head around that way and I'll show you what to keep an eye out for. Along the same ideas of doing your general maintenance, one of the things you're gonna wanna check for is make sure that your wiper seals are in the proper positioning here. As you can see, this wiper seal is all the way out. It's not folded underneath. Okay, you're also gonna wanna maybe check on your bulb seals here as well before bringing it in. You'll also wanna double check that once the slide is in, that everything is making a tight connection. Lastly, if you have the opportunity, you have a ladder or anything like that, make sure that you at least try to get up on top and clean out the slide out roofs. A lot of branches, leaves, anything like that can create a void in the seal up top there if you don't clean it out before you close it up. Here we are now, we've closed the slide out up, everything on the inside's ready to go. We're getting ready to almost get it ready to hook back onto the truck. Again, last thing you want to check is make sure that these bulb seals are nice and activated and tight, that the slide room closed in nice and tight on there. That way, if you are driving home, you manage to hit any weather or anything like that, you don't have to worry about water intrusion with the slide out now closed. Once you have the slide outs closed up, your awning put away, and you're really starting to pack away and get ready to go, one of the last things you're gonna wanna do, that while you're still hooked up or with the truck backed in, you're gonna wanna reset the power tongue jack back to the towing level of the truck. I do this, or we recommend that you do this while you still have everything chalked and blocked and ready to go, just for safety purposes. That way the unit is still stabilized while you're still hooking up the truck. You'll then want to back the truck up, make sure that you get the ball hitch on there before now starting to put your stabilizer jacks up, put your chocks away, and finish cleaning up, getting ready to leave the campground. While you're up front here getting ready to hook back up to your truck, another thing you're going to want to do is make sure that your LP bottles are turned off, that both your LP bottles are turned off. That way you don't have any of the natural gas or any of the liquid propane running into the unit while you're driving. Another thing I want to point out here, this is your battery disconnect switch. We purposely put it on the driver's side here for convenience purposes, because this is the last thing you are going to want to touch when you get back home and you're parking your camper. What this is going to do is it's going to turn everything off running from the battery into the unit. That's going to prevent the microwave or the radio clocks from slowly draining your battery. So if you go a couple of weeks without usage, the battery disconnect works in place of having to completely remove the top portion of the battery box and take the leads off completely. All you have to do is flip the switch and you're ready to go. Once you've got the unit hooked back up to your truck, you've disconnected the power, you've turned off your LP, you've made sure that everything's put away, the last thing you're going to want to do is put your jacks back up. Again, we left those down while we're doing the hookup for safety purposes. Make sure that that unit is still stabilized while we're reattaching it to the hitch of the truck. Last but not least, you're going to want to pick up all your blocks, remove any of the chocks and the wheelbases that you've set there in that area. If you are parked on those, you are going to want to remember to pull the unit slightly forward or all the way over those blocks, hop back out, make sure you grab those blocks, toss them in so you can use them again next time. Hopefully you found our video helpful today and we were able to give you some tips, tricks, and general ideas on how your Catalina works. The last thing I want to mention before we get out of here is our winterization video. Catalina does do a video that shows how to winterize your unit, where your low point drains are located, where the water heater bypasses are located, and how to turn those around. So you're going to want to check out that winterization video at the Coachmen website.